Jason worked a full-time job from 9 to 5. After work, he drove for a rideshare company. On weekends, he freelanced online. Late at night, he was trying to launch an e-commerce business. He had 4 different income streams. Yet every month, he still felt financially stuck. More work, more income, but somehow no real wealth. The surprising part? Jason isn't the exception. He's becoming the new normal.
If you're in your 20s or 30s, you've probably heard the same advice over and over. Start a side hustle, create multiple income streams, never rely on one paycheck. It's everywhere, on YouTube, on social media, in podcasts. And while there's nothing wrong with earning extra income, many people quietly fall into a trap. They spend every free evening chasing another dollar. They sacrifice sleep, relationships, health, weekends, all in the hope that one more side hustle will finally solve their financial problems. But months turn into years. They're busier than ever, yet they still don't feel financially free. That's frustrating, because hard work isn't supposed to feel like running in circles.
The idea of having multiple income streams isn't the problem. The problem is believing that more income automatically creates more wealth. Income creates opportunity. Habits determine the outcome. Imagine 2 people earning the same extra $2,000 every month. One spends nearly all of it upgrading their lifestyle. The other uses most of it to eliminate debt, build an emergency fund, and invest consistently. The side hustle is identical. The results are completely different. The real question isn't, do you have a side hustle? It's, what is your side hustle actually building? Let's go back to Jason. His weekdays started before sunrise and ended close to midnight. At first, the extra income felt exciting. He upgraded his apartment, bought a newer car, subscribed to more services, rewarded himself for working harder. After all, he deserved it. But something unexpected happened. The more he earned, the more his monthly expenses quietly increased. Soon, his side hustle wasn't building wealth. It was simply paying for a more expensive lifestyle. He couldn't stop working, because stopping meant he could no longer afford the life he had created. Why does this happen so often? Because we confuse activity with progress. Being busy feels productive. Working longer hours feels responsible. But wealth isn't measured by how many hours you work. It's measured by what remains after you earn. Here's the part most people miss. A side hustle should create freedom, not permanent dependence. If your extra income disappears tomorrow and your entire financial life falls apart, you didn't build wealth. You built a bigger financial obligation. That's a completely different outcome. Now consider Emily. She also started a side hustle. But before spending her extra income, she created one simple rule. Every dollar had a purpose. First, she paid off high-interest debt. Then she built an emergency fund. After that, she invested consistently. She still enjoyed some of her extra income, but most of it was quietly buying her future. 5 years later, something remarkable happened. She no longer needed to work every weekend. Her investments had grown, her financial stress had fallen, and for the first time, she had choices. Not because she worked harder than Jason, because she built assets before upgrading her lifestyle. Here's a question worth thinking about. If your side hustle disappeared next month, would your financial plan survive? Or would everything fall apart? Your answer says more about your financial foundation than your income ever will. Many people spend years chasing more income, but they never stop long enough to ask where that income is actually going. 10 years later, they've earned hundreds of thousands of extra dollars. Yet they still feel trapped. Not because they failed, because every income increase was matched by another expense. The opportunity wasn't lost overnight. It disappeared one financial decision at a time.
And that's what makes this trap so dangerous. The consequences arrive quietly, long after the excitement of earning more has faded.
A side hustle can absolutely change your financial future, but only if it creates assets instead of obligations. Extra income isn't the finish line, it's a tool. The goal isn't to stay busy forever. The goal is to reach a point where your money begins working harder than you do. So before starting your next side hustle, ask yourself one simple question. Will this build freedom, or will it simply fund a more expensive version of my current life? That single question may change the way you think about money forever. If you enjoy real money stories and practical wealth building lessons, subscribe to Wealth Rich. Learn from the stories, apply the lessons, build your wealth.